My son walked up to the courthouse, and he said to the judge running the house, "Hey, Bob, got a cocaine? Bob. And the judge said no, without a doubt. "If you want some of that, Jack, go to the White House. Can I get you your laptop?" My son said, "Full stop." And then he waddled away.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. Breaking news here. Life comes at you fast. And if you're Hunter Biden and you've been avoiding paying for your crimes for a very, very long time, eventually your rope runs out. And it looks like that's what's actually happening right now via Hunter Biden's own hand, because Hunter Biden botched a sweetheart deal that was given to him by the federal government. He said, no, not good enough. And so Hunter Biden's going to go to trial, and they have returned the first indictment on a gun charge. Hunter Biden purchased a gun, lied on his federal NICS form, said he wasn't addicted to crack cocaine and other drugs. Then he disposed of said gun next to a dumpster next to a high school. And the Secret Service tried to shake down the gun owner to try and steal all the paperwork away from him. It's an unbelievable story, and it should land Hunter Biden in jail for a very, very long time. If you mix the drug abuse and you mixed the gun abuse together, this should be at least 15 years in prison. We'll see what happens, but this is a federal charge. Hunter Biden on gun charges will be charged by the end of this month. Here's CNN reporting on it. Look at the expressions on their faces. They are so shocked that Hunter Biden, after 5 years on a very simple case that should have been done in 5 seconds, is finally, perhaps, maybe facing some justice.
Breaking news just coming into CNN right now. The special counsel, David Weiss, intends to seek an indictment against Hunter Biden relating to gun charges by the end of the month. That according to a new court filing. Biden had previously reached a deal involving a gun possession charge that would have allowed him to avoid prosecution if he met certain conditions over a 24-month period. Once his plea deal, though, fell apart in court, the future of the gun deal has been in limbo. And there's
Wolf Blitzer there looking at the very end, looking literally shell-shocked. Look at this guy. Oh, man. Oh, it is a thing of beauty to see. Okay, so what are the details of this case? Let's hop on over here to X and find out. Federal prosecutors will seek an indictment against Hunter Biden, gun charges at the end of the month. The federal indictment is very short. They say that this probe, which is led by special counsel Weiss, is expected by September 29th or before. They literally say it could happen at the very earliest. Then the government seeks the return of an indictment, in this case, before that date. So before September 29th. So we are in the first week of September. This means that Hunter Biden will be indicted. Again, he was going to get let off. Now he's going to be indicted for these charges by a federal grand jury in the next 2.5 weeks. That's what it's saying. Yikes. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a speedy move here. Catherine Herridge over at CBS saying, the status report on Hunter Biden, the Speedy Trial Act required that the government obtain the return of an indictment by a grand jury Friday, September 29th. At the earliest, the government intends to seek the return of the indictment in the case before that date. Very simple filing and very to the point, stating that, obviously Hunter Biden broke the law. Clearly, Hunter Biden broke the law against lying on a federal background check to obtain a firearm. We have spoken with many federal prosecutors. Brett Tolman is the one who comes to mind. And he's told me directly, this is the simplest charge. You cannot get around this. And Hunter Biden will serve prison time for it. That he's never seen a single person get off prison time lying on their federal background check. So, I mean, thank God for small blessings, I suppose. Now, it's very interesting to see the difference in how Fox News covers it from CNN. Fox News effectively stating, hey, we have a much bigger problem here. This is going to potentially unravel a lot of things for a lot of people. Why?
U.S. prosecutors will seek a Hunter Biden indictment by September 29th. Now, this, according to a new court filing, Fox News' David Spunt has the latest. David.
Hi, Charles. Took us a little bit by surprise. We were expecting just a standard update in the case as requested by the judge. But this filing just in from the government, and I tell you, it's about 20 minutes ago, indicates there are plans to indict the president's son by September 29th. Could be any time before that. Now, remember, his plea deal fell apart in a very public way on July 26th in Delaware. And U.S. Attorney David Weiss at the time said everything was back on the table. In this court filing this afternoon, one of Weiss's top prosecutors, Leo Weiss, wrote the following to federal judge Mary Ellen Norica. Quote, thus, the Speedy Trial Act requires that the government obtain the return of an indictment by the grand jury by Friday, September 29th, 2023. At the earliest, the government intends to seek the return of an indictment in this case before that date. Indict for what, you may ask? Well, it appears the federal gun charge. Hunter Biden was accused of lying on a federal gun form when he checked no to substance abuse. Part of the original plea deal, Charles, would have put him in what's called a diversion program, something to help him avoid jail time. But that fell apart. It was off the table given this recent filing by the government. Now, we also have some wording from Abby Lowell. Abby Lowell is Hunter Biden's attorney, is saying that this plea agreement for the gun charge is in effect because both sides signed it. He said it's something that's in effect and it's something they're going to abide by. The defendant intends to abide by the terms of the diversion agreement that was executed at the July 26 hearing. So in layman's terms, the government is saying everything's back on the table. We intend to indict Hunter Biden. It appears to be on this gun charge, lying on this gun form by September 29th. We have not heard yet from Hunter Biden's attorneys, but it appears they will say, we believe that this diversion program is in order because both sides signed it. Looks like the judge will have to step in here.
Okay, so the person who is responsible actually for all of this, somebody who I have called the bravest man in America, Gary Shapley, who is pictured here, is the man who said that prosecutor Weiss, of course, didn't have the power to prosecute. They had hamstrung the IRS at every single turn. They were protecting Hunter Biden, and that this was an entire hose job on the American people and an abortion of justice. Now, it's amazing the pressure that can happen inside of the federal systems when their PR is broken. Okay, I know so many of these people. Here's what's actually happening behind the scene. They were embarrassed. They were humiliated, and they are disgraced. And those are very powerful things. They want to look good in the public image. They'll do anything to save their public image. And so now that is precisely what the Department of Justice and David Weiss are trying to do. They've been humiliated and disgraced. These guys have worked their entire lives for these pensions and these little pedigrees and these little medals. And then all it takes is one round of bad press and you are thrown to the curb. All these people care about is the final result, the final headline. Okay, that is it. It's an entire politics, is an entire industry that is run off of journalism and headlines and what the public perception is of you. Doesn't really matter if there's any justice served. That's all that matters. Gary Shapley saying effectively, I don't trust David Weiss. This is why this is happening. The reason why this is all happening is because this whistleblower came forward from the IRS, the bravest man in America, saying, hey, listen, I don't trust this guy. So we got to see what he does. Well, here's what he's doing. Apparently, the first indictment for Hunter Biden will happen in a matter of days. Listen to Gary Shapley. Of course, I don't trust any government official as far as I can throw him, detailing all of that.
What are your thoughts in terms of what went down? And what about David Weiss being special prosecutor now, special counsel?
To answer your question about David Weiss being special counsel, you just have to look at what he allowed to occur during this investigation. There are key witnesses we weren't allowed to interview, that we weren't allowed to ask all the questions of certain people we interviewed. People were tipped off that we were coming before the day of action. There were enforcement operations, to include search warrants, where a probable cause was agreed to by the prosecutors that weren't allowed to happen. And then he played his cards. Now, moving through to his letters to Congress, through Attorney General Garland's testimony in front of Congress, that it is not accurate what they said.